Greetings. This is Attorney Della Welch with some tips today for how to hire an attorney. Many people, if they end up looking for a television set, they go see many different television sets, or they go shopping around. But many people, when they hire an attorney, may take the first one. So here are some tips to know what to look for when you're hiring an attorney. One of the ways to start is to ask family, friends, and fellow co-workers if they've used an attorney and who they would recommend. Also, local credit unions, local unions. The California Bar Association has written an excellent pamphlet on this topic, and that's available for you on the web if you Google State Bar of California. That has many important tips. So one of the things to remember is to take great thought on this, because it might be that you may have serious liability and you want to have the most skilled person representing you. I say a lawyer is a librarian and a form filler-outer. They have to go to the library, which is done electronically now for most of them, and then they have to fill out the appropriate forms. California has judicial council forms, and they have many forms, such as in family law. So that is important to look at. One of the things in selecting an attorney, some people go to Yelp or to other social media. That may be helpful input. But remember, the first meeting with the attorney is usually free. You can look at their advertising, and they say free initial consultation. When you talk to the attorney, you want to ask him or her, how do you solve this case? Also, see what is their experience in that area. If this is the first case they're handling for you in that area, you may want to seek a more experienced attorney. Next, you look for the fees for each person that will handle the case. Some law firms charge a different amount for paralegal work, for legal secretary work, for junior attorney work, for senior partner work. Make sure you understand the fee schedule. Then ask how long this particular matter might take to resolve the case. I heard of a case of someone who talked with an attorney and they wanted to get a divorce, and the attorney said, "Oh, I've done it in a week." Well, that wouldn't be correct, because California has a 6-month waiting period, plus the courts have many court hearings and dates, and that takes a little longer. So you need to make sure you get the accurate information. When you hire an attorney, make sure you get the agreement in writing. I always say the big print giveth and the small print taketh away. Make sure you read all of the print, that you understand what you're agreeing to. And ask what the information is that the lawyer may need. There's certain documents that they may need for your case. Make sure you have a list. Now, in terms of making payment and arrangements to pay the fees, many charge a flat fee or an hourly fee. When I graduated from law school, it was about $125 an hour. Now it's up to about $500, or some are doing it for less than that. But with inflation, it always goes up. And then you may attain an attorney on a contingent fee. An example is on a personal injury case. It might be 30% contingent, say the 30% going to the lawyer, and then you get the rest. But one thing that's important to ask is who pays the cost. I was teaching a law class one time, and one of my students had retained an attorney who said that she had to pay costs, but she didn't really understand until she got a fee for several $1,000s for x-rays that had to be taken. So even though it was contingent in terms of the fee going to the attorney, the cost she had to come up front with. And then attorneys have what they call LexisNexis, and they can look up attorneys and see what their record would be on winning cases. And I looked up this particular attorney, and he had lost every personal injury case. So that isn't someone that you would want as an attorney, to be an attorney. Now, there are other ways you can pay for legal fees. You may qualify based on your income for legal aid or low-cost legal help. You can look in your phone directories or Google the local legal aid and see if you're able to qualify for their particular requirements. Also, check for free clinics. Sometimes law schools have clinics, and they are low cost or free clinics. So be sure and look for those. Again, you can Google those. Another one is self-help clinics at the county courthouse. The self-help clinics are excellent, and some of the courts, such as Riverside, I know, have videotapes you can watch and media on how to do things and sample forms, and you can come in and get the court hires attorneys there, and you can ask them for help. But this is really improved. And as divorce has gotten more and more expensive, the retainer fee when I graduated was about $500. But inflation, I heard of someone who recently hired an attorney for $5,000. So that's why this self-help and these clinics are very important. There's also a lot of how to do it books that are written. NOLO, N-O-L-O, NOLO Press has how to do it books in about every subject matter. Also, sometime at the courts, they sell information on how to do various forms. If you do have problems with a lawyer, know that the state bar in California or other states you're in are vigilant in taking complaints, and you can talk with someone there about a complaint, and there's certain rules that attorneys are bound by. So this is a very important source. You can look and see if you have a law library in your local area. I know San Bernardino has one, Pomona had one, but I'm not sure it's still going. But there are books called California Pleading and Practice, and they'll show you a blank form, and they'll show you a form filled out, and they will hold your hand and lead you through filling out these forms. There's also California Forms, suppose you wanted to do a contract or something. And also Rutter, R-U-T-T-E-R, Rutter Group, they're excellent books that are written. I know the Family Law volume was 2 volumes, and now it's up to 3. But it essentially goes through most of the issues in family law and gives you samples. And you can even purchase this on the web. So these are wonderful ideas. And then also you may want to look in your directory for California Department of Consumer Affairs, because they have certain lists of resolutions